Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Christmas in March. That's not actually what it's called, but we do jokes here. So today we've got a good one for you. We have got Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure, which if you haven't already, because I've included it here in the shot, I did a previous unboxing of the Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. Go check that out if you haven't already to see what's inside that one. But we now have its sequel, which is part of a duology. So this is the conclusion to this particular story arc within Legend of Heroes and the Trails series, or Kiseki, or whatever your flavor is. And I'm really excited to check it out. It's when I originally played through this series, I went through all the Trails in the Sky games, and then I jumped over to the Cold Steel games. So this is kind of a missing chapter in the lore for me. So I'm excited to finally fill in the blanks. I did a little bit with Zero, but I'm excited to check out Azure and see what interesting story bits I've been missing. So. I won't bore you with the backstory too much. I already did that a lot with the previous video. But basically, if you haven't checked out the Trails series, I would recommend starting with Trails in the Sky on the PSP or PC. You can at least play two of those in English on the PSP. Otherwise, the whole trilogy is on Steam or GOG or whatever PC retailer that you prefer. I would start there and then jump over to these ones, these two that you're looking at in front of you, and then go with the Trails of Cold Steel series, 1, 2, 3, and 4 after that. If you want to start with something more modern, again, you could technically start with Cold Steel. I wouldn't recommend it, honestly, because number one, it's harder to go backwards, and number two, characters from the older games do make appearances, and there's a lot of nuance that'll be lost on you if you skip ahead. Again, you could probably start here with Trails from Zero, but again, there's some Trails in the Sky characters that show up there that'll be lost on you. So honestly, if you can, I would recommend doing the Trails in the Sky games, as I said previously. But if you wanted to start here, I mean, it's not a deal breaker. So anyway, I just wanted to include this one right here, just to have them side by side so you can see where we were and where we're going today. So I am going to move this guy out of the way. I still have got the plastic on here, so as you can see, nice cover. There we've got our spine, not too much going on there. The back art is pretty awesome. There isn't a whole lot of ratings and things like that, kind of cluttering up the artwork, so you can get a nice shot of it there. It looks really nice. And again, our spine. You can see the contents of the box, which you are about to find out along with me. And then also the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plastic wrap off. I think last time I may have done it before I hit record. I don't remember, but fortunately, this doesn't seem to be too much of a struggle, so won't bore you too much. Alright, so that is off. And we can go ahead and pop this guy open. Maybe. Maybe I should have opened this off camera too. There we go. All right. So what do we got? Just going to pull everything out and then set this aside. So we've got what I believe are the acrylic standees, if I remember right. We've got a poster, like a cloth poster. And I think you'll find, just from what I'm glancing at here, a lot of this stuff is going to be very similar to what was in the first box set. So if you're all about consistency like I am, you're in for a treat. We've got the Steelbook with the SSS logo on it. and the game logo on the back. We've got the art book, Azure Archives. Got the game itself, going to need that if we want to play it. And then we've got this little sleeve with the soundtrack in it. So I'm just going to grab these things one at a time. We'll start with... Why don't we start with the game? So as you can see, it says Trails to Azure Deluxe Edition. So this should look very similar. If you grab the retail, the standard copy, this is probably going to look very familiar to you. I really need to either unwrap this stuff off camera so I'm not feeling the pressure, or just edit this out. Alright, tossing that aside. So again, the back cover, it says Deluxe Edition, includes digital soundtrack and mini art book. So let me open it off camera in case there's a code in here. Okay, nothing's exposed. So I'm just going to empty this out, first of all. So there's the disc. And you can also see there's a reversible cover... reversible cover art. Looks very much like what you saw on the box I just held up. So now that's the what would be the front cover. And then there's also the back cover with all the characters on it. So very cool. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm actually going to put the disc back in here. Okay. Set that aside. Special support section case files. Following pages may contain spoiler material, so maybe I don't really glance at this too much. Looks like, from what I can tell, character profiles and illustrations. So, again, won't spoil anybody, but that's what that is. And then the digital soundtrack is a code, like I thought. But I'll let you see the back side here, which tells you the track list. So there's 5 tracks on here. Not too much, but it is what it is. And then, of course, the advertisement for other NIS products. So I will set that aside. What should we do next? Art book. Azure Archives. You can see the cover looks just like the cover to the limited edition. Nothing on the back cover there. So again, the following pages contain spoiler material. Reader discretion is advised for those who have yet to complete the game. So maybe I don't go too much into this, but I'm going to guess this is probably just a more expansive version of the art book that comes in the base version of the game, except, you know, obviously hardcover. So there's that. So I will go ahead and set that aside. Let's look at the Steelbook. That's always my favorite part. So comes a little plastic wrap here. And you can see too, so it's got all the characters on the front, and you can see that part of it kind of sticks up. I don't know if I'm at an angle where you can see that. You can kind of tell from that angle. So the front cover really pops, which I like. And it's also got the name on the spine. Yay. I like that. If you can see that in the lighting here. Then, of course, you got the logo on the back. If we open it up, got to look at a tower, city, birds. So that's exciting. So yeah, nice Steelbook. Love the design. Like I said, I like Steelbooks in general, but I especially enjoy them. Again, they got a cool design on them, and they have the title on the spine. I had a rant on the last video about this, so I'm glad that they were consistent with that at least. Next, we're going to go with the poster here. So there's a little bit of a plastic on this. There we go. So let's spread that out. So that looks just like the cover of the limited edition. I know I can't fit the whole thing in the frame here, but I'm sure you get the idea. If I just kind of pull, you can see the rest of it, the image there. Is there anything on the back? No, it doesn't look like it. So one-sided, but very cool. So I'm going to set that aside. And then we got our little standees here, which I don't remember. I think there were 4 of them in the previous set, which were of the 4 main characters that you play as in that game. And all of these are individually wrapped. I won't bore you with that, but you can see here's the stand itself. And you can see the holes where the standees get plugged into. And then I'm guessing we got 3 party members, and then the wolf. I can't remember the wolf's name, and which is terrible because I didn't play the first one that long ago, but is he a party member now, or is he just a summon type thing again? I don't know. Guess we'll find out, but yeah, so there's that. What do we got left? Soundtrack. So let's grab this sleeve over here. So yeah, it comes in this like white cardboard sleeve thing. So there's our cover. So that looks like the reversible art on the regular edition there. And you can see that tower. I'm guessing because they use that on the inside of the Steelbook, there's some significance to that location. There's our track list on the back, so 10 tracks. Again, not a ton, but I'm going to suspect the more, I don't want to say the better tracks, but maybe the more familiar tracks are going to be on this at least. So this is not like a 4-disc epic by any means, but I had to hit pause there because I struggled way too much with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this one up. So we can see our disc here. Yay, physical media. So we can see Anthems of Crossbell Part 2, official soundtrack. Not much to see underneath there in terms of artwork. On our front cover here, there's a little bit of art on the back, and actually that is all it is. I thought maybe there would be some composer notes or something. Nope, it's just this sheet of paper here with the cover and then the art on the back. So pretty no frills as far as that goes. So I'm just going to slide that back in unsuccessfully. There we go. Put our CD back in there. All right, I think that's it. So just to recap, so we've got the soundtrack, we've got the standees. We've got our Steelbook. We've got art book. Maybe I throw that in the back, throw this down here. Where did I put the game? I kind of buried it. There we go. And then the game itself. And then, of course, our poster, which takes up the whole space. So I'll just kind of chuck that in the back. All right. So that's everything. So I think it was about $30 more than the regular version to get the limited edition. Which, given the amount of stuff that you get, I personally think it's worth it. Again, I'm a sucker for the main components for me. I said this last time, I know I'm like a broken record, but Steelbook, soundtrack. We got both of those things. Obviously, the soundtrack could include more tracks than what it does, but it's something. And I didn't even check to see if the tracks were different than the ones on the digital, which I'm all about the physical media, so that doesn't actually do a whole lot for me anyway. But and then of course you got the art book and you know, the standees and the poster and things like that. Personal opinion, I think it's worth more than the extra $30-$40 to get the extra stuff, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. So I personally recommend it. You know, there's things I would do better. Of course, more tracks on the soundtrack, but overall, great set. It doesn't take up a lot of space either. Like I said, you saw the two sets side by side. They're not overly massive. I know some of these collector's editions, they get just monstrous size, and then it's like, okay, where do I put this? I have limited shelf space, and then I can't even display it. It's got to go sit in the closet or something somewhere. And with these sets, I don't think you really have that problem. In fact, why don't I grab the box? Okay, so we have the box here. So how does this compare to just the regular case? We hold them up side by side. So, you know, obviously it's going to take up more room than a standard edition. But if you're getting a collector's edition of anything, you kind of expect that that's going to be the case. But again, it's not, you know, as substantial as it could be. You know, with a lot of limited editions, they just tend to get out of control. So, and this doesn't really. So, yeah, I recommend picking it up. And if not, at least pick the game up, because this is a great series. There are a lot of entries to the series. It's kind of the whole, I don't want to say it's like the One Piece scenario, because it's not, you know, 1,000 episodes or 1,000 manga chapters, but you know, it's a bit of a commitment. But I mean, with the world building and the characters, and it's just so well done. I highly recommend it. Once you get invested in this world, there's no looking back. I look forward to more, and there's going to be more even this year, I believe. There's an action spin-off game, and then there's also the follow-up to Cold Steel 4. So we're getting right back. We're starting to get caught up to Japan. We're still a ways behind, but we're getting there. So I'm glad to see these games getting localized for people to check out, because they really are just amazing. So anyway, that is another unboxing. I appreciate you all joining me for that today, and hope you guys check out my next one, whatever that is going to be. I expect probably, I'm trying to think ahead to the next big releases. I think Zelda is hitting in May, followed by Final Fantasy 16 in June. So I'll probably do one for both of those. So look forward to that. But otherwise, thank you for joining me. Check out these games. They're awesome. Hope you have fun with them, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.